Okay, everybody, Hoover186 back again with another video. Traditional video today. If you want to hear me on a weekly basis, I co-host a podcast called the Overrated Podcast with my homeboy, Traditionalist 101. Um, yeah, check it out when you get a chance. I'll have the link in the description. But today's video is a video that I've done a couple times before. The damage is done, my friend. And we've got two people that we need to discuss today. One who I've talked about in the podcast before. Another one is someone who I actually just learned about today. And I figured I had the intention of making the video about Frost. But I figured, since I did some research on this Dan Allen fellow, I might as well do a 2-for-1. So we'll talk about Dan Allen first because that's the one that's freshest in my mind. He is a YouTuber. Apparently I think he's from the UK. He's a guy who I guess used to have a lot of clout. I don't know if I would say clout, but he's a content creator. He's a well-known content creator, and he's someone who would get invited to certain events. When you get invited to events like that for like gaming press conferences and stuff like that. You're a pretty big deal. You're a pretty big deal, and he had that. He had pretty much he pretty much had what I think a lot of content creators wanted attention, positive attention from these developers and gaming companies, right? Apparently he was living a double life, and what he was doing on the side was he was pretending to be this one of these leakers, right? Like obviously everyone knows about the whole GTA 6 stuff. We talked about that on the podcast last on Monday, and he had two accounts. One was obviously his real account, and the second one was this I forget what was it called, what was it? Yeah, it's called the Real Insider, which was his alternate Twitter account, right? And he was running both accounts. And what he would do is obviously, he would get invited to these gaming events. He would be incredibly vague about it in his traditional account, the Dan Allen gaming account, and then on the Real Insider he would leak the stuff that he actually knew, you know, in these conferences. Like I think he's the one that leaked the names of all those Assassin's Creed games, right? So so he was living essentially a double life, right? At least a double Twitter life. All right. So and I think there was one time when he was confronted by Jason Schreier, and I guess Jason Schreier made a comment about the original leaks being fake. After it turned out to be true, this real insider, aka Dan Allen, was gloating about it. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I've noticed when it comes to Jason Schreier, right? Like he comes off as, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like him, but to me he comes off as a very mild mannered individual. But he is a New Yorker, and New Yorkers tend to have a lot of spite in them, and I actually respect it. I don't have no problem with it. So after the whole thing come out, like what happened was he accidentally tweeted some stuff on his on his I think it was on his fake account, pretending to be his real account. He got I don't know exactly the detail, but I know he got his accounts mixed up. So Yeah. So pretty much what? So pretty much, he got outed. He obviously did the one thing that a lot of people who get caught lying do is they, he tried to deny it. You know what I mean? He was throwing a pity party or whatnot. And after a while, after all the evidence was mounting against him, he decided to confess. He actually has a video, pretty much saying I'm sorry. It's not that long of a video, like 5 minutes, but he essentially owned up to it and he apologized. Now here's the thing that happened that I think a lot of people need to realize, right? He broke NDA, right? And he like the non-disclosure agreement thing. He broke that, right? And that's a big fucking no-no in the industry, and any industry. It doesn't matter. It could be gaming, obviously. It could be anything, right? If you break those NDAs, those companies are gonna hold it against you forever, right? And what he was doing, he was breaking NDAs under this real insider moniker that he had on Twitter on the side. So pretty much what it was is dude was chasing clout pretty much, and he had enough of it already. Like, you know what I mean? I know the last interview he did was with Young Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I saw the video. I saw the video from that channel. He had recently done an interview with Young Yeah. Like I said previously, he was going to gaming events and stuff like that, and getting to see all this stuff, behind closed doors, getting to see before everyone else, and he still, it wasn't enough for him. He had to continue chasing clout. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Um, like I said, he's probably going to like more than likely his content. I mean, he could probably still create content whenever, but any company trusting that man ain't happening anymore. That shit ain't happening. So on that note, Dan Allen, the damage is done, and Jason Schreier, he did his thing. Going back to this, he did his thing, did a lot of investigative work, and he pretty much connected the dots, and he even admitted that I'm going after him because he was a prick to me, and listen, I can't hate it. You know what I mean? I can't hate it. So Dan Allen, the damage is done. Now on to our second person, the person who I was actually gonna do this video about is Frosk. What is her real name? I keep forgetting what her I think it's Indiana. I think that's her real name, Indiana Black. Um, and and this woman has had tons of controversy surrounding her over the past. I don't want to say half a year. Like the first time I ever heard of her was this thing where a bunch of PlayStation guys were passing around this video of her pretty much trashing the PlayStation's 2022 lineup. Saying that it was gonna be trash and that Xbox was gonna be better and all that other stuff, and it's pretty much for this year the opposite has kind of happened. So that's kind of weird. But regardless of that, she got a lot of attention from that because before that point I had no idea who she was, and then she had a couple weeks later, she had another viral video of her pretty much talking about the sexist comments she would get on Twitter and in comment section and stuff like that, right? So, and my stance was, if she is just complaining about the sexist part, then I don't have a problem with what she said. Like, I know a lot of people don't like her, right? And a lot of people are cheering for her downfall, right? I don't care either way. I don't like cheering for people's downfall, especially if they're not like, if I don't think that they're bad people, and I don't think she's a bad person, even though what she said, what happened, it doesn't paint her in the best of light. And the reason why I'm making the video don't paint her in the best of light. But I don't think she's a bad person. That's why I'm not this type of person who likes to pile on people who I don't believe are bad people. But like a lot, like my stance was if she was just commenting on those comments, then I don't have a problem with what she said. The problem is that what was said, what why is she saying this? Is it because of all the comments she got because of the stuff with the PlayStation stuff? Because she got roasted for that. Definitely got roasted for that. And to this day, she's getting roasted for it because, as you can see, Sony's had a great year this year, and they you can't that even the hardest, even Sony's greatest, even some of Sony's biggest critics can't deny that. You know what I mean? But she got a lot of shit from that. But did she go off on this rant about sexism because she wanted to take heat off of the comments about PlayStation, or was something that was heartfelt? Right? I lean towards her. I lean towards it being heartfelt. Right? But like I said, after that, G4, it just wasn't. And look, and I said this, I said this on a podcast. I'm gonna say this again. G4, it was never going to replicate the glory days of that channel. It's just not gonna happen. Like I said, we're in a different time. You have content all over the place, and it just wasn't gonna work out, regardless of who they brought back. It just wasn't going to work out, and I still stand by that. But a lot of people are pointing to her inclusion into the fold as a reason for the downfall, and I don't believe that. But it is what it is. When you have a lot of people who don't like you, it is what it is. So the G4 had suffered a lot of layoffs, right? Like 20, 30 people, and like that's a lot for a channel, like a channel that small relatively. That's a big deal. So what happened was, the news came out, and then I believe it was the same day or the next day, she releases a tweet, with a I don't know I don't know if it was a meme or whatever, saying, "Oh, I survived," right? And to me, and look, I think when obviously it's a bad look, like, right, it's a absolutely bad look, but I my first thought was she was pointing that towards haters, right? Because a lot of people figured that if they were going to do layoffs, that she was going to be the first one, that one of those people to go, right? And I think a lot of people just assumed that she was going to be let go, and then when she wasn't, then that tweet comes out. Now again, she hasn't commented on it. At least I don't think she did. Let me look through Twitter real quick. Yeah, yeah, she hasn't commented on it on the picture. And in fact, the picture's still up. I don't understand why. I'm surprised she hasn't deleted it, but the picture's still up. So, like I said, maybe it could have been targeted at her haters, but at the end of the day, it can easily be interpreted as insensitive, to say the least, right? It could have easily been looked upon as being insensitive. And I'm sorry, yeah, my bad about that. So it was, at the very least, was looked upon as insensitive, right? And then I'd probably say a couple days later after that, come to find out, she had essentially been fired. They bought out her contract, and she's gone. And she said her thank yous and her goodbyes on Twitter. But yeah, I have to assume, I like me personally, I have to assume that tweet is what got her canned. It had to have been, because I mean, I would figure that if they're going to lay off people, they're going to lay off they're going to lay off whoever they need to lay off. And obviously she's a host. She's more than likely going to be I mean, I don't know if they get paid, but if they do, well, I mean, she's on the contract, so she is getting paid. So she's probably going to be one of the higher ranking people at that network. So I figured, she would have been laid off along with everybody else. But this news comes a couple of days later, No, I think to me, at least to me, it seems as if that tweet is what ultimately got her canned. And all I have to say is the damage is done. Like I mean, to me, and the thing with this and the Dan Allen situation, it comes off to me that there's so many people out there who are so thirsty to chase clout, right? And I'm not saying Frost is chasing clout in this case. I just think that there this desire, this need to always make like to use social media in the way that these people do is just weird to me. All she had to do was say, "Oh, let's play some games," do a stream or something. At least I think that's what it was. I think that's what she was going for, but she had to put out the quote. She had to put out the meme. Life survived and came back to bite her in the ass, right? Dan Allen, like I said before, dude has all the clout in the world, right? And did it apparently legitimately, but then he had to you know come out with a fake account. He had to chase that clout, and that's such a detriment to our society right now. And people say that, oh, it's the power of social media and all the other stuff, and I can see that's part of it. But I think the main thing is that you have a lot of people who just do dumb things, and social media, I think, elevates that. You know what I mean? Like obviously the whole thing with politics and stuff like that. Like people used to say, "Oh, we never used to really talk about politics the way that we do now." Well, that's mainly because when we did talk about politics, we did it face to face. Now with social media, all your views can be put out there, especially the views that are more extreme, right? And I feel like the same thing with social media in general. Like a lot of people, a lot of people wouldn't do the stupid thing that they do, but with the power of the internet, with the perceived power, power of how do you pronounce it, of being in the background, like being a keyboard warrior, basically. Being behind the, no real confrontation face to face. You can say what you want behind an avatar, basically. And to me, it's just I just think that this level of clout chasing is just, to me, it's just so weird to me, man. And just the idea of just, at least in Frost's case, just she had to make she had to make that comment, had to post that meme. I me and I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she was targeting her haters, but it's hard to give her that benefit of the doubt because it was just to me, at the end of the day, it was just dumb to post that. It was just dumb. And and I think that's what got her. I think that's what got her fired. So, and then like I said with the dance situation, just someone just being a clout chaser, and it's pretty crazy, man. But yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have much else to say. Just ladies and gentlemen, just don't chasing clout. Not it ain't it, man. It ain't it. So just just have a good you guys have a good night. This is Super 186. I am out. Peace.